extraordinaire, Paul Corbiere. Paul is on the world music drumming faculty. He's an awesome percussionist, and he's an all-around fabulous human being.
Wow.
Paul's here to talk to us about how to tune tubanos. We get all sorts of questions all the time. How do I tune my tubanos? And we understand why you're asking, because some of us might not have the knowledge to do so, but it's not that hard. Don't overthink it. Paul, why am I saying that?
Because it's not too hard, and don't overthink it. That's
it
exactly it.
Do you use a tuning method that you like?
There's several tuning methods. If you are going to start with what you would find in a book of tuning a snare drum or classical drumming, you probably tune in what we call a star shape. So you tune this lug, this lug, this lug, this lug, this lug, this lug, and that way, as you're tuning it down, there's an even tension on the drum and you don't pull the drum out of its rim. These drums are pretty indestructible, and even I'm not worried about it. I tune a different way because I get lost in the star. So I usually grab one and I just tune this way.
And you're marking it with your hand.
I hold on to it so I know where I started. The other thing is, if I have to tune, when you're tuning a drum in general, think about what a timpanist does. They go below the tone that they need and they tune up. Guitars tune up to the note. They don't have a, if they want an E and it's sounding an F, they don't just go down to E. They go a little bit below it and then tune up. Same thing with the drums. So we always want to tune up. So in that vein, if you have a lot of tuning to do it, you would probably, what I think in my head is a clock. So if I have to go very far, I do what I call a 6 o'clock turn. If I have a small distance to go, meaning height, I do a 15-minute turn. And then when I'm really close, I might do a 5-minute turn around, just to really get them in tune. We have 3 sizes of drums. This is the 14-inch, 12-inch, and a 10-inch, and we refer to them as low, medium, and high. And we want a low sound, a medium sound, and a high sound. It would be great if the 2 low drums sounded the same. So that's our goal in what I'm going to demonstrate. I usually start with the medium drums. This one obviously sounds lower. I would like this one a little higher, so I'm just going to take it up. I'm probably going to, let's take it up a 6 o'clock turn. So I'm going around this way. And these wrenches are really nice because you can see that half turn. I like that tone. So now I want this drum to sound like this drum. It sounds pretty far away, so I'm going to start with a 6 o'clock turn. So here, oh, no, that's good. Can't solve that problem yet. Sometimes, when you go to put the wrench in on top of the lug, it doesn't quite fit. That's kind of normal. It's kind of normal because wear and tear, they get pushed close, and sometimes this won't fit in there. Got to try to find it, pat it down, find a way to get it on there, and then as you turn it, sometimes it's because the lug is bent, and so as it turns closer to the head, it's hard to get in. It's kind of close. I'm going to do a little quarter turn as I go all the way around. Sometimes if you go not too far, you can push it like this. Just going to take a little hair off of it. Where is that? Can't get in there. So I'm pretty close. A little trick is to put your finger right here, just a very little bit of pressure, and you get kind of an overtone. And you can listen to the lugs. This one sounds like it's a little bit lower. So I want to bring it up a little bit, not much. It's a little low, so what I took off before, I'm going to put back on a little bit. Very little. Now, there's something that we often, I will tell teachers when they have asked me to do their drums, tune their drums, excuse me. You could chase this all day long. You could work on this drum for 20 minutes trying to get it perfectly in tune, and then you realize you haven't done all of your drums. It takes a while and practice to get better at tuning the drums, but you could certainly do it if you have some patience and you take your time. That's pretty close. So, now I want, these are way too low for me, so I'm going to just crank them up a little bit. You'll notice that I'm going all the way around. I know I started with this. A little bit more. And I'm not sure the microphone is picking up, but you can hear the drum itself is out of tune with itself. The tension on all the lugs are different. On this side, and it makes it the tone vibrate. Okay, so now I want this drum up here. So this drum is so loose that the lugs are loose on them. So I'm just tightening them this way because I'm not using a lot of torque this way. You can hear this is really loose. If your drums are that loose, they're too loose. Okay? Still doesn't have a good tone to it. I'm doing about a quarter turn right now because I'm close. Another quarter turn. You might be wondering why I'm doing that. It's forcing the head down and being more seated on the rim. Okay? Then the high drum, I want to have it a little higher than the medium drum. That's actually not too bad. Let's just go a little bit higher. Good. The high drums in your set, if you bought a world music drumming set, you'll notice that there's 4 low drums, 7 of the medium drums, and 4 of the high drums, and that's because of the frequency of the medium drums get lost. So we try to double those numbers up. The low drums, we hear that in the low part, we hear the upper part. I like that.
Paul, how often should someone tune their tuba?
Well, when you first get them out of the package, they're pretty tight and
They're optimally torqued, aren't they?
Right,
They
right.
sound fabulous.
They sound great, they're ringing wonderfully. I wouldn't touch them, I would play them for a while. You don't have any major performances right away.
And it also gets it acclimated to your room as well. So if you're in a colder situation or a warmer situation, your drums will blend with your actual climate.
That's correct. And so play them, get them to stretch a little bit, and you'll notice within about a month, if you're drumming on them once a day, every day, they'll start to go out of tune. I would tune them drums then. Normally at my school, I tune them in the beginning of the year, or when I get them out of the package. I start the year somewhere in November, I tune them so they all sound the same. My students are very excited because I don't tell them, and they just come in and everything sounds right. And so I use them that way for a while, and then sometime in May I tune them again. I store them for the summer. When I come in the following year, they're pretty close. And now I don't think I've tuned my drums in the last 6 months.
So
and
you
tuning
tune them
is
as needed.
as needed. Fine tuning the drums is at that point is all you're doing, because they're going to hold the tone very well.